Hi, I'm Paul Salmon. I'm a spiritualist medium. My guest today is Rebecca Sawyer. Hi, Bex, and I could call you Bex, can't
I? Yeah, I prefer Bex. Bex is great.
Bex. And you're a medium as well.
I am.
Getting quite renowned, if you don't mind me saying so.
Thank you very much.
A renowned medium.
In my own kitchen, yeah, okay. Yeah.
But you came on here about I think I'm as bad as you bad as me about time.
Yeah.
About a year ago, you came on here last.
Ago now, yeah.
What's happened in that year, Bex?
It's been busy. And I'm very fortunate. I'm able to do the mediumship in lots of different, not just venues, but lots of different places. Everything from an SNU church to a spirit centre to a park to clubs to theatres, and it gives. What I find is it's just reaching people.
Mm. So it doesn't matter if it's on platform in a theatre or out and about.
No, it's as long as I believe I'm a co-worker with spirit, and my job is to represent spirit, and as long as I'm doing the right, taking the right intention, you can pretty much do it anywhere. I mean, you know, I've walked in some places and gone, oh no, where you walk into a pub and you're promised a private room and it's in the middle of the bar and there's people there. So sometimes it can be challenging, but you will often reach people that won't normally go to a spiritualist church.
Yeah. How do you work actually? Because different mediums work in different ways.
Yeah, I'm clairsentient. I don't see. I'm not clairvoyant.
You're not
clairaudient. I suppose it is clairsentient. But I actually everything comes from that internal clairsentience first, and everything manifests from that. And I just think some people have a penchant for clairvoyance, some for clairaudience. How I have been trained, how I carry on training, is my job is to get out of the way. And the more the mediums get out of the way and let spirit do their job, the better the mediumship. And when I teach now, as I train, it's never about the mediumship, it's always about the medium. Mediumship's easy when the medium gets out of the way.
Right, okay, yeah.
It's like a mobile phone. That mobile phone is, the battery's not charged, or it's a broken phone, no one can ring. It's always about the medium.
All right. Do you meditate much?
I meditate sometimes, but I can be a bit of a maverick. I don't believe you do meditation before mediumship. Meditation is very passive, which is great if you're going into trance, which is obviously a different area altogether. But if you're doing platform mediumship, that's very active. That's very powerful, if you like. So you've got to get your power up. I go into a quiet space, but it's about building my power up as opposed to switching down, if you like.
Yeah.
So I never meditate for mediumship. I do meditate. I love meditation, but it's usually if it involves trance.
Okay. And when did you want to be a medium? I hate doing that. I'm doing it. Look.
I know, but everyone does. Yeah, when did you want
I
to
don't
be
usually
medium?
do this.
Where was you first?
Where
did you first realise you would do? I grew up wanting to chat to dead people. It's an old. I use it as a bit of a joke, but it's actually true. But as a little boy, all I would do was be a mermaid, which was great when I was 5, not so great when I was 27. And I just got, but nothing. I got to drive my parents crazy, set of tarot cards and got them to nothing. And I remember watching Doris Stokes come along, and I remember thinking that's what I wanted to do, but nothing, just nothing. And then I sat in circle at one of my 20s, but got very little. And it was only really when I met Mother Half and we decided, I hadn't even thought about transition, hadn't thought about facial surgery, nothing like that. I was pretty much stuck. But we decided to get married, Nikki and I, and we went to Spiritualist Church because that's why we want to get married. And it really started from there, about 10, 12 years ago. And it's just a slow, I think to develop as a medium, it's a very slow slog. Very hard journey because it does take a lot of development. Because if you're going to be a co-worker with spirit, they're going to teach you. And you've got to find the right tutors here, the right teachers who bring out the best in you.
Can I digress a little bit?
Whatever you want.
Are you still teaching karate or martial arts?
Yeah, I still teach karate, yeah.
Because I've gone back to that after 20 years.
Good, you enjoying it?
Love it. And the old man still got it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I've met quite a few mediums and spiritual people who do martial arts.
Okay.
Now, what is it? Have you got any idea what it is about martial arts and spiritualism?
Do you know, I think there's always been an esoteric attraction to martial arts for people. Whether it's misplaced or not, it depends on the dojo where you're training. And what you want out of your martial art training. I just teach self-defense, so I've evolved my karate away from karate is very much Japanese in the 20th or the 20th century. Pre that it was often known in Chinese. So the the martial side, like the art side of it, I think it's been lost more and more in the 21st century as it becomes more of a sport. But that's a different point. It's a different area altogether.
Yeah. No, I started years ago with a Japanese master, one of the first to come over years ago. And I've seen it, it's like everywhere, every town now has got half a dozen clubs. And I've seen it watered down, you know. But
you can relate that to what we do.
You could
as mediums, because I'm sure every karate instructor is doing the best they can. But if you've got someone knocking on your door saying you can be an instructor in 3 years, a karate instructor 3 years, what can you know in 3 years? And the same, and you see it with mediumship now, is that for me, it's a long journey, and I study at the Arthur College. I call it Hogwarts, and I try and still get there twice a year. But I met someone last year who was on a course, and they'd come over from America expecting to do 1 week's course and go back home a medium. It's very much like it's what I call, should we say, it's like X Factor mediumship. You know, I'm going to be discovered. I'm going to do a week's training, and it's not. It's a lifetime commitment to do what we do. We know that.
Yeah. I feel like we're tested in our lives anyway, and we can empathy is a big part, isn't it?
The empathic side of a medium is key. And I can't remember which medium it was that told me, but they said every medium, you might have to edit this, everyone's had a shit life. Because unless you've been there, unless you know what it's like to be suicidal, unless you know what it's like to be really lonely, unless you really know what it's like to feel grief, unless you know what it's like to feel left out, unless you know all these emotions, how can spirit world work with those if you haven't got them? And that's what I truly believe is I work a lot with people that take themselves across. Why? I don't judge anyone. I've been suicidal half my life, so it's easy to go, hello, who are you? Why aren't you? Without judging them. And I can get their emotions of what they want to get across without going, well, that was naughty. Well, it wasn't. It was just that they were in that position at that moment. And I think you're right. The empathic part of our work is often understated, but it's huge. Absolutely huge.
I've got to ask you, Bex, you've been working with Colin Flyer.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, I got to know Colin probably the last 6 months of his life. I was very fortunate that a very good friend of mine knew him very well and had introduced me to him, and he'd heard about my work, and he invited me down to his weekend in March, April, this year, just gone. And he liked what he saw, and we had a chat, and I can say I became really good friends with him for the last few months of his life. I got to know him really quite well. I was really fortunate. And he said, well, do you want to come on stage and do it and take him on his wing? And that's testament to the man, because the man was obviously ill, but he still had time to take someone relatively inexperienced with large audiences and go, come on, get some experience. And he has everything people think he is. When I have people we meet all the time, and I think realised after he went just how many people he touched. And whenever I talk about him, whenever I get asked about him, because obviously people still watch it every day on Sixth Sense, and I see say he was as nice and kind, as gentle as he comes across on TV. He really was. And what I liked about him, he called a spade. And he was very honest. I was very fortunate and very blessed to be, involved with him right at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I've interviewed him a couple of times.
Yeah, I've seen him.
And what came over to me is that he gave his time.
That's exactly it.
What else can you give? What more can you give apart from time?
Well, exactly. And in the probably 5-6 months I knew him, I learned so much just by chatting to him, because he would give his time, and then I'd ask him advice about shows and presentation, and then ask him other things, and we'd talk about mediums don't always talk enough to each other. We're in a very fragile business, ego-wise, and we don't always talk about how it can be lonely being a medium, how it can drive us crazy, how we can feel isolated. And this is just, as talking to another working medium, we all feel that. But we don't always talk about it. But he spoke about it to me, and he spoke about it to other mediums. And it is about, and that's what I really liked about him. He just shared his knowledge and experience with me, which I thought was really, really wonderful of him.
And did you grow? No, I was going to ask you if you've grown in confidence as well, but you're confident anyway, I believe. Yeah,
I think every type of mediumship, be it platform, one-to-ones, or going to healing, going to trance, I think you have to have that ability, or that trained ability, whatever maybe, but you've also got to really be passionate. And I actually like being in front of people. I love people. So that's my job. So, and I think also as well is that I grew up wanting to do this. So when I'm in front of people, I'm living my dream. And that I've gone through my own transition as well. It just reinforces it. So those moments, and I don't know if you feel it as well, but when we go up on stage or in front of someone, in a group, I do a lot of home visits in front of someone, and you just feel that power of spirit, and we create that bubble, we create that energy. And it's not me, it's the people you're with. Well, you must have, when you work, you walk in there, sometimes you feel, oh my God, this is going to be hard today.
Yeah.
But you get the energy up, and then they join in the energy, and you feel it uplifting, and then you've got them, and they've got that feeling, and that's what it's about. Is what I believe when I'm working. My job is to get the links and to be the medium. But if it doesn't mean you've got 6 people, 600 people. There can only be a few that get that link. So the rest of them have got to be brought into to feel it. If they go home going, I felt that, I really felt something, that's when we've done our job. Yes, it's one for the few people, or the half a dozen, or the 10 people that get a message, or a communication, or a link, whatever you want to call it. But how many times have we been to see shows where everyone goes, yeah, oh, not me. All right, okay, pass the popcorn. And then wait for the next link. But the job, I believe, what I try and do is get everyone riveted, because that story, because Spirit tell a story, whoever comes through, that they know what they want to say to the person in front of them. They know how they want to validate themselves, but they know what they want to share. They know what they want to heal. 90% of mediumship is healing, well, 95% of mediumship is healing. And that becomes a story that the rest of the audience should be encouraged and embraced to share. I'm waffling a bit, but that's how.
Well, no, because I understand what you're talking about, and I'm sure many watching us or listening to you do as well. You know, how are you going to cope with fame now? Because you're getting a bit renowned now.
Yeah, my own kitchen. No, you're not. No, I'm not.
Because you are. You're getting. I mention your name, people heard of you. You know.
It's because I'm rubbish. No, I don't know. They don't. It's not famous. I'm not famous. I just along the A13 corridor. Yes, I might be known a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not. It's just
because I mentioned on Facebook and a few people that I've got Rebecca Sawyer coming on, and the feedback's tremendous. You know,
that cost me a fortune with them.
Yeah, I expect it did.
Yeah, it cost me a fortune.
I said, how much?
Don't give a few. Yeah, $5 each. But no, I don't know. I think. You've thrown me. I'm never thrown when I chat to me, but I've never been asked what's going on. You're famous. I'm not really famous. It's just
renowned.
I don't know. I just do what I do, and I just do what I do. And I enjoy it, I really don't know how to answer that question.
Have I actually got you there?
You have, because I just don't know how to answer, because I don't ever see it happening. I just, what I did find surprising was the number of people that. When I did that, a couple of appearances for Colin, it was really amazing how many people he touched, because the number of people that have gone, oh, you used to Colin Flyer. I went, how do you know? I always saw his show. And that's, again, coming at Colin's, that's the testament to the man. And that's what he did. I mean, I just do what I do, and I'm just passionate about what I do. I'm very lucky to be doing what I do.
Yeah. What would happen if I got that mediumship, that spirit, and took it away from you? What would be left? What did it mean to you?
That's a really good question. Life would certainly be a lot easier. I don't think we realise when we're developing, and we're always developing, that's the point, but when you're working as something, which I am now, you do get to a stage where you do realise sometimes the price involved, emotional price, because it can be long hours, and it can be not so much when you're doing the reading or the evening, because that's when you get the buzz, or that's when I get the buzz, and that's when you're buzzing. It's after you drive home late at night on your own, or so in that respect it'll be. But I don't think you can ever take my spirituality away. You took the mediumship away, the same spiritual person remains.
Yes, yeah.
That would be my feeling.
But about mediumship, if I took that away.
I don't know really. I suppose I'd just sit in the audience, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd just sit in the audience going.
You'd be watching me.
I'd be watching you.
I'd be on stage.
You'd be on stage, I'd be watching you, and I'd go see Tony, I'd go see the others, and see Mavis, and sit there watching them work. Yeah. But I think for me, mediumship is I don't see it as black or white. I see mediumship, we're on a constant learning curve. Yeah. And no matter how far we think of God, we are all just scratching the surface. We are all just scratching the surface.
Do you know, it came to me the other week that I'm not working every day as a medium. I mean, I'm here today interviewing. And one night I'm there thinking, hang on, I've still got mediumship or spirituality on my mind. So we're living it. It's not a case of actually appearing and performing. Yeah. Actually living it.
Being at the Arthini College, just walking through and the grounds are beautiful. And I can remember, we're always taught as we develop, trust what you get. Trust it. People what you get. Trust it. Trust. And they're right. But I can remember walking through the grounds, I was really angry. I must have had a bad lecture or a bad workshop or something, and I'm going, oh, rubbish. And it came to me, and it was like, you talk about trust. You trust everything you get. And they said, well, when we draw close, whoever's drawing close to you and working with you, they are trusting you with everything they are. You have the essence and their soul in the palm of your hand. What are you going to do with it? And that changed everything, because in that moment it was, actually, if I've got someone's dad there and I either pad a bit or get stuck, admit I've got stuck. Oh, I've got something wrong. Say I've got that wrong, because I'm representing that dad. And it only takes one sentence if I've got it slightly wrong, or I'm padding a little bit, or what it didn't feel quite right, and that daughter goes, no. But our job is to give them a voice. So that's my view. That's as simple as it is. All our job is to get out of the way. By that I mean our brain, our body gets out of the way as much as possible, and simply they go.
Do you think that as we're mediums, that we're meant to be squeaky clean in our lives? I think that's what I come across. Some people think, oh, you represent spirit, you must be squeaky clean, or I'm not going to say angelic.
Do you know what? I think we have a responsibility, but then I think everyone has a social responsibility. And I don't think any medium put themselves on a pedestal and say I'm better than anyone else. They're not. I just think that we're here having the human experience, so we're going to get the human challenges. We're going to get the human problems. But I think mediums, in the main, just do the best they can. But I think most people are. I think just most people want to, if their parents want to raise their kids, pay their bills and just live life. And I think as mediums we're pretty much the same. And our spiritual side just tends to be something very passionate about. And the mediumship is what makes us even more passionate. And if you're pulled towards healing, then your healing's more passionate.
Okay. I want to finish off by asking you what's coming up. What's coming up for Rebecca Sawyer now?
Well, I'm really fortunate. I'm really blessed. I get quite booked up. So I do my group nights. I do the small theatres. I do the pubs. I do lots and lots and lots of charity nights. And for me, what's great about charity nights, everyone wins, because you've got the charity. How I personally work, I just got my petrol money, so they make all the money. We did one in Milton Keynes the other week. Lady that arranged it was amazing. She got like 180 odd people in the theatre, and by the time she paid the theatre, she raised £1,700 in one night. But I do a charity night in someone's home, they raise £200. But it doesn't matter. But and also for me as a medium, what I get out of that is I'm reaching people that maybe would never go to a psychic show or a spiritual show or a night of mediumship, but they go to a charity night. They might be the biggest skeptics, but you touch their soul path. And that's what our job is. We help people's soul path. That's what we do, isn't it? That's what we do. We just touch people's souls and help them. We nudge them on their soul path. We nudge them on their healing. So it's busy. I'm really lucky. So and I'm very lucky. It's very varied what I do. I'm very lucky. I mean, the new year starts off on the 2nd or 3rd of January on the Sunday. I'm at my local SNU church, and then during the week I'm doing the theatre. So I'm very, very lucky.
Excellent.
Very lucky.
Well, may luck be with you.
Thank you, Paul.
Continuous good luck.
And good luck with your mediumship as well.
Well, thank you.
You're going from strength to strength as well.
Well, hopefully. Now, as I'm seeing with you, we might rub off.
Shut up. Just be quiet. Don't go there.
Thanks, let's come back again
Absolutely,
sometime.
It'll be a pleasure. Thank you so much.
And see you next time.
Yeah, and have a lovely Christmas.
And you.